There's a form of terrorism that most people are not discussing. The politicians nor the preachers. Pedophiles target unsuspecting families.
There is an urgent need to guard our children from sexual abuse. Please help us to protect children who cannot protect themselves. This is a great opportunity to literally save lives. Please join with us now.
We're excited to welcome to our program today Mr. Pervis Taylor. He's not only an author, a life coach, but also an individual who's been able to motivate people through his own story, as well as, of course, helping them through their own journey. Pervis, thank you so much for the time today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Look, the pleasure's definitely all mine. I knew if I was coming back to New York, I could not end 2015 without talking with you. I'm so excited about all you've done. I mean, our journey together actually began because of the Pervis principles that you've been able to share with the world. And now, of course, this year, you've had such a big year with the book dealing with relationships and also the great work you've been able to do. Do you still have those moments, Pervis, where you're able to just say, wow?
You know what? Yeah, I mean, I'm always kind of like in shock that what has happened, especially given where I come from. I'm a small boy. I mean, I'm a boy from a small town in Texas, Lancaster, Texas, and to see where I'm at today in the big city is incredible.
Yeah. What does it feel like, because we talk about on this program all the time about our gifts making room for us.
Yes.
What does it feel like for you to see that actually manifest itself in your life?
I mean, it just proves that God's word is true. I'm always amazed and that I find myself in the arenas that I find myself in, and I'm just like, wow, my gift made room for this. It wasn't me, it was my gift. So yeah, it's amazing.
We've talked about on Conversations Live, the radio show in the past, Pervis, about your journey to how you've gotten to where you are. Do you think, as I believe, that the things that I've experienced have definitely opened the door for me to do what I do today? Do you find that to be true when you think about the books, the speaking engagements, the coaching, that what you've gone through really had to happen in order for you to be able to do the work you're doing today? Absolutely.
I say that the greatest teachers and the greatest coaches, the most effective ones, have been affected by life. And so I definitely know what it feels like to want to give up. I know what it feels like to want to end your life. I know what it feels like to just say enough. So I definitely think that all of that, was used to make my coaching and speaking and all the things that I do more impactful. Definitely.
I think that the big part of this conversation with you is going to be about the power of words, because I want our audience to really remember that words have power, not only the ones that we speak positively toward ourselves and others, but also those we do in the opposite direction, the negativity in as well. Do you find that when you started dwelling on what is for you and what could be, that it made you more optimistic about today and tomorrow?
Yeah, I always think that a breakthrough and having new things in your life first begins with that self-narrative, the conversation that we're having with ourselves. So I think for me, the biggest thing I had to change was my self-talk, which was abusive and extremely negative. And so I know if I was having an abusive, negative self-talk, I know that a lot of other people are having it. And in order for me to really start to embrace and start to receive some of the things that I believe that God had for me, I had to change that narrative. I had to change that tape that plays over and over. So definitely, words are spirits. Everything is, created because of words, So absolutely, it began with me changing my self-talk, and what's true for me is true for everyone else.
Right, and that's what you've been able to show. It's been so great, and I'm one of these people that I'm automatically excited for other people's success in their journey, because I know the hard work that goes into that. You post a lot on social media, not only about the work that you're doing, but also the effect. When you get that text message, when you get that email, when you get that post on Facebook of someone who's been impacted positively by your work and by your words, does that make you feel as though you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing?
Yeah, I'm always amazed because I know myself. and it just really is a testament to God can use anybody and anything to do His work. And so, yeah, it's definitely affirming, to be honest, because sometimes you feel like, am I making a difference? Am I making an impact? And then those are the things that keep you going to show that you are on the right path. Because to work with the human soul is a heavy work and a heavy burden to bear. So definitely. I mean, they definitely keep me going.
Right.
And I hope that it's inspiring for other people to know that this is possible for you too.
Right.
So, yeah.
Exactly. Again, everyone, Pervis Taylor is our guest for this segment. We're talking to him not only about the great work he's doing, but also how he's been able to make an impact on others. We'll tell you here in a moment how you can stay connected with him. Pervis, I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about relationships.
Yes.
And relationships in a lot of different ways. You've built some powerful relationships, surrounding yourself with the right people. You've written a book, that you've been a part of a project this year that spends a lot of time talking about more intimate relationships. I want to talk about association and the direct impact it has on our growth as well as what we can accomplish. Do you feel as though a big part of your journey has been surrounding yourself with people who are going to lift you up instead of staying around people that can bring you down?
Absolutely. I actually said, I think in Pervis Principles Volume 1 or 2, that I said your associations can either bring blessing or cursing. And so who you associate yourself with is extremely important. I definitely know for me, it took for me to be around positive black men, positive people, just having great friends, people who loved me for who I was. That definitely played an integral part in me becoming the person that I am today. And even when I make mistakes, it's having that community around me that builds me right back up to where I need to be. So it takes a village. You know, they say it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise a great person as well. So absolutely, your relationships are important.
Yeah. You know, I want to talk about love, if you don't mind, because I think, loving others is great if that's the direction people want to go into. But loving yourself is so important. And I think everything begins there. And that's one of the things I really think is so powerful about the work you're doing. You have to believe in yourself and know that you are worthy of what's coming your way in order for other people to be impacted by it. What was that part of your journey like? Because it was not easy for me to get there. It's not easy for a lot of our viewers to understand that they're worthy of love. How important was that for you in moving forward in your life?
Oh my gosh, it was everything. I definitely, if I didn't have love for myself, I wouldn't be in the position that I am right now. I wouldn't be able to withstand the obstacles that I face in doing the work that I do. I always say this, your team, which is you, is comprised of you and yourself.
Yeah.
And if you guys are divided or against each other, what's going to happen? The house divided against itself falls. So you and yourself have to be on the same page, and that requires you to love yourself, which requires forgiveness of yourself. And that's really like letting go of what you didn't do right to embrace what you can do right. And so for me, that was the process to loving myself, was really forgiving myself. And then just looking myself in the mirror and saying like, yo, Pervis, you're a beautiful black man. And really, and not feel no way about it. Like, I love you, man. Yeah. And so I definitely want to be on my team. Yeah.
I think that's an important thing. So, Pervis, what message would you say to our viewers out there, not only in Mississippi that will watch this on television, but also around the world that will watch it online? What would you say to them about the importance of realizing those two words, that they matter?
If you don't figure out who you are, you're going to be robbed of two things: your purpose and freedom. And you have to know who you are in order to know that you matter. You have to know who you are in order to know that you have a purpose and that you weren't here by accident. There is a mission for you to accomplish. But it all begins with you taking the time to love yourself, and know that in that process, though it may be ugly, though it may be painful, it's going to be worth it. And trust me, you are not a mistake. You are here for a reason. You're not here as a joke. You're here to make an impact in the world. And as I always say, we can either watch the world change, or we can change the world. And all of us, every person watching this, you have the ability to not only change your own world, but the world as a whole. But you just gotta believe and know that against all odds.
Yeah, there you go. A great message from someone who's definitely living those words. Again, everyone, Pervis Taylor has been our guest. Great conversation as always with you. Pervis, let our audience know how they can stay connected with you.
Sure. It's very simple. All my social media is the same. It's at Pervis Taylor, PervisTaylor. And my website is www.pervistaylor.com. And you can purchase my books, Pervis Principles Volume 1, 2, and single man, married man.
All right, so make sure you all stay connected with Pervis, PervisTaylor.com. And Pervis, looking forward to the next conversation with you, man.
Same here, brother. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you for the time.